Hello everybody and welcome along to round 5 of the Porsche Cup Championship from RR Leagues. Unfortunately our production team are still self-isolating with COVID, so no on-screen graphics today I'm afraid. You just got to put up with me and my lovely dulcet tones, even if I do say so myself. Yeah, round 5, good to see. Look at this, Almeida de Kaiser missed round 4, back for round 5. Good to see him back. And he's just going to take us on a lap of Snetterton in North Norfolk. Those of you that are not familiar with the UK, that's the bit on the right hand side of the bottom that juts out like a big wart. Norwich is slap bang in the middle of that, and Snetterton just down the road. Not surprising. Lotus used to, in fact, oh god, game audio, come on, get with it. Listen to me all the time, do you? There we go, there's some game audio for you. Yes, what was I saying? Yes, in the middle of Norfolk, just down the road from Hethel. Those of you that know Hethel as the Lotus headquarters. And Snetterton often used by those guys for testing various things from the early Elans all the way to F1 cars. Snetterton based at what used to be a USAF base in the Second World War. And in the late 40s, Americans went back to America and left it to us, and we have this what has gone through a number of iterations, and now left with this very, very technical but ultimately thrilling track. Not many landmarks out there. Like I say, it is an airfield, an ex-airfield, so not many inclines and declines. It is what it is. Apart from this little thing here called the bomb hole, as you can see, it dip down right into that as they go through there. Really throws the car out. But yeah, so that's Snetterton for round 5. Anyway, let's get on to some admin for you, shall we? And as Almeida's just about to come and start his quick lap, so we'll follow him with the camera. As I say, currently one of the top championship protagonists in this championship. Just coming up there to really tight hairpin known as Montreal, or turn 2 as we call it. So apologies for the pause, I was just trying to get the championship up. So here we go. So yeah, lead after a sterling couple of rounds from Ralph Romero, 3 wins in the last 4 races. He sits at the top of the Drivers' Championship, 582 points. In second place, Almeida de Kaiser. He missed round 4 at Silverstone, race 1 and race 2 there. So he sits in second at the moment, 540 points, but has dropped his round already. Remember, the guys will be able to drop 1 round from their thing. Only the top 5 round scoring will count. So Almeida already done that. 2 wins to his name and a second place. Ralph 4 wins in the second place. So you can see why Ralph is right up there. Xavi Pinsack is currently sat third on 511 points. Just 71 points off the lead. Remember, 100 points for each race win, and there are 2 races tonight, both half an hour. And you'll see them both here live with RR Leagues. So Xavi Pinsack in third place. Jack Camletto, ultra consistent as always. 3 P2s, 3 P3s, 6 times on the podium in the last 8 races. So expect to see a good show from Jack. He sat there in 4th on 510 points, just 1 point off Xavi Pinsack. In 5th place, again ultra competitive, but not quite the performance of Jack Camletto. The last couple of races, though, to be fair, David Dahl really pulling the stops out. 3 4th places, a 2nd place, and a bit of a soft start to the season. That sees him down there 413 points, although he carries on the current trend. There's a good chance that he'll be able to drop one of those poor rounds at the start and get on to one of the good ones. Let's have a look at Simon Fillingham in that rather pretty car. Teammate, of course, of Radek Pavlicek, and Radek Pavlicek sits in 6th at the moment in the championship, 379. Pair 2 to Saw just behind him on 357. Then Cy Fillingham, Bernard Civet, and finally, well, not finally, but in 10th place, round out your top 10, Ryan Leach, currently leading the AM Championship on 314 points. That's for those drivers not considered amateur, but considered well, yet to win a race with RR Leagues or a championship indeed. So they fight out the Amateur Cup. Ryan Leach currently leads that with 314 points, not too far behind him. I say one good race can put all that to bed. Anthony Pellicano 257, Callum Morgan 239, and Antonio D'Oliva down there in 166. But like I said, a couple of good races, can soon see that turn around. So we'll keep an eye out on the AM Cup for you as well. Of course, we do have a Teams Championship. So paradigm shift, that's Jack Camaletto and Radek Pavlicek. Currently on 1,123 points. And in second place, Ralph Arella and Cy Fillingham on 1,070, just 53, but I say just 53 points. Remember, both of these cars can score 100 points for the team championship, so 400 points on offer. Well, if you count the pole position, 410 points on offer for every round. So that can soon swap round. So really tight at the top of the team championship. And both Ralph and Cy Fillingham are going really well here at Snetterton today. Jack Cameron, you can see there in qualifying, currently 7th. And Pavlicek there in 5th. So expect to see that fight out itself. That's pretty tight there at the top. Zevi Pinsack and Bernard Civet sit there in 3rd on 914 points in the Virtual Racing Girona team. And the B team of Virtual Racing Girona, that's pair 2 Saw. And where is he? He's not in the server. That's a shame. Oh, he is there down there at 17th. I didn't see him at the bottom. There he is. And his teammate, who isn't in the server. So, yeah, Per's going to have his work cut out for his team tonight. They're currently sitting 4th. Aaron Cleaver, Ryan Leach from Pitstop UK. They're in 5th. The side just sends it a little bit wide there. Let's go and have a look at someone that doesn't really get much TV time. Antonio D'Oliva, ex-teammate of mine. Good to see him playing his way through the championship here. Currently sitting 6th. That's a cracking lap, Antonio. Well done, mate. Keep that up, son. Yeah, Pitstop UK, Aaron Cleaver and Ryan Leach currently sit there in 5th. And then the rest are fighting over the minor honours. And while we're talking about Pitstop UK, time for a bit of admin. We've got so much going on here at the moment with RR Leagues. We've got a championship where we're cross-community challenge between Pitstop UK and RR Leagues. That's currently all set up to go in a few weeks' time. Already only been live for 4 days of sign-ups. 25 places gone, 25 places remaining. So if you are interested in getting into one of our championships here at RR Leagues, now's the time. GT3 championship, 6 rounds, tracks around the world as we go flying away here, there and everywhere. Details all on the website at rrleagues.com. Please pop over there, and it's everything you need there to get started with us if you're not already a member. And everyone's struggling at that corner, aren't they, today? And Antonio going off there as well. Yeah, everything you need to get started with RR Leagues, and also sign up for the championship and become an RR League star. So we look forward to seeing you for that. And also we have, at the same time as that GT3 championship's running, we've also got the favourite touring car, WTCR cars running again over a 6-race championship. That one just around Europe. Again, all the details for that on rrleagues.com. And if I haven't said it already, go over there, get all your information you need, and come and join us in a Discord as well. Discord's the app we use for all our communications and chat. Details of how to join up with RR Leagues on Discord, or again, all on the website. So come along, say hello and get involved. We're a great community, as you might have gathered from all our friendly banter. So please come on over, get involved and fill our grids out to what these drivers deserve. So Anthony still sat there in 6th position. Good to see. Just end of qualifying around now. So The first race, the grid looks like it's going to be De Kaiser, Arella on the front row, Smedegard and Dorr on row 2. Good to see Magnus doing well as well up there in third. Good performance from him. Radek Pavlicek and Antonio here fill out row 3. Cy Fellingham and Jazz Forsberg up there on the just being pushed down by Tutusor unfortunately. So 7th and 8th, Tutusor filling. Oh, that's a big one. Let's hope he's all right. So where were we? Yes, so Jazz Forsberg pushed down to 9th with Bernat Sive. Good performance from Jazz. I say not long back in the saddle, so good to see him up to speed really quickly. Aaron Cleaver and Jack Caminetto down in 12th. That's position he's going to have to put his foot down from. Moll and Leach 13th and 14th. Binnersley and O'Day down there on row 8. And Anthony Pellicano brings up the rear, but expect him to see improve. He's a quick guy. In fact, to be fair, they're all quick guys. That's why it's going to be such a good race. So there we go. Qualifying over. They'll just have a little bit of time to sort themselves out. I suppose now would be a good time to, you fast forward. You've already fast forwarded through, haven't you? Let's face it, if you're not watching live. If you're watching live, like the video. And don't get bored when in 4 minutes time I ask everyone to like it again when they fast forwarded through to the grid. Who have we got online? Come on, say hello. Good to see 4 or 5 of you online watching live. Always good to have a nice live streaming. They missed their briefing by the looks of it, so they will be having that very shortly. So that will be 3 minutes or so while they do that. So let's give you the rundown of the new championships we've got coming up with you. Well, for you, rather, not with you. It's for you. And just like I said, I'm popping over to rlegs.com. On there you'll see a calendar of all our events. And August 18th, Wednesday, August the 18th, first round of our GT World Challenge. That's from Suzuka, a 90-minute race there in the GT3 cars in ACC. And that's followed on the Sunday, the 22nd of August, with that World Touring Car Championship. First round from Zolder. That will be a 15-minute practice and a 50-kilometre race, so about 35 miles, which I think is about 14 laps, give or take. Going around Zolder, so those will start in around a month's time. So like I said, plenty of time to get registered, but as I also said, the spaces are filling up very quickly, especially with that GT3 championship. So please try and get your names down if possible sooner rather than later. Guest spots will be available for if the grid is full, or if the grid isn't full rather, on those races where we don't have a full 50 cars. So you will be able to join as a guest, but unfortunately you won't be part of the championship, which is the whole point of it really. So let's hope you come along and join us for that. So that's that. Just keep an eye on the session times to make sure we don't miss out on this. Looks like the clock's just running down now. So they're all up on the grid. That's all good to see. Let's check Caminetto. Currently sat down there in 12th position. A lot of cars ahead of him. Well, bonnet camper Jack, yes we have. So you can see the cars just jumping up and down in front of him. That's as they change their settings for the race. Very cloudy and miserable. I have to say, weather this week at Snetterton has been wet, dry, warm, cold, everything. And I think a lot of the guys are expecting to see some rain at some point over these two races. Probably more so than they're seeing at the moment, because, as I say, most of the week it's been fairly wet. But those clouds do look angry. And a change will come. It does start to rain mid-race. These cars are already particularly difficult to drive anyway. Throw some O2 on the track and they do tend to struggle a little bit. But hey, them's the them's the brakes. Some drivers will enjoy that a little bit more than the others, I think. So chances for people like Mole, Bennesley to make their way through the grid if it does start to rain. Anyway, 20 seconds to go. Engine's just starting. They'll have one formation lap before they start the race. It'll be a rolling start, don't forget. And look at that, we've just started to see drizzle coming down. And I wonder, I should imagine most of them, if not all of them, will be on slick tyres. That track did look pretty dry. As you can see, this is the bonnet cam from De Kaiser. Pole sitter currently leading around on the formation lap, and that track is pretty much bone dry. But if we go to the helicam shot, you'll see it ain't dry up there. The rain is coming down, so stay tuned for this one. This could be a little bit leery. As we're going to be busy for half an hour, now's your time to hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please get on the channel now and hit that big red button so you don't miss anything in the future. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll get a little, you should do if YouTube starts playing games. You should get a notification come up when we go live, so you don't miss any of our live streams or these live races. So Maynard De Kaiser just leads them around on the formation. You can see just how tight the track is here at Snetterton. It was back in the 50s quite an expansive track. Used to go out into the countryside, but what with main roads expansion and the like, that's been cut down to what is now a very tight infield. And of course Snetterton, home of, or used to be home of, the Scary Tree. For those of you who don't know what that is, have a look it up on Google for the images, because unfortunately it's no longer there, hit by some lightning not so long ago, and unfortunately the tree had to come down. But it was right at the end of the pitch straight, and I can't describe it to you, but it was like a big scary, well, I'm going to anyway, it's like a big scary monster, the way the branches and the leaves were set up at the end of the pitch straight. But yeah, unfortunately that landmark no longer with us, although it is depicted at the track here today, so it's good to see it lives on. So just coming around the back end of the track, formed up in rows of two as they were on the grid. I'll come round the long right hander known as Coram. You'll see as they come round here to the right, track actually used to split off here to the left and miss out this turn, this rather tight left-hander, but the track used to go off there to the left of the cars where they're coming through now onto the main start-finish straight, but this corner added to slow the cars down. Let's see the start from Jazz Forsberg and his bonnet cam. So here we go. Jazz starting in 9th position. Wait for the lights to go green. Wait for them. They'll go over the start-finish line, and if they're all in position, there they go. Good start from Jazz. He had to get out the throttle there though. The lever in front of him just a bit slower off the start. Jazz in the middle of the track though. Everything looks good up there. Nothing too much going wrong. De Kaiser with a really good start though. But Arella challenging around the outside there, you can see up front. And there's a spinner there. Let's just see what happened there again. Oh, so yeah, just cut across in front of one of the pit stop UK guys. Have no luck at all. Just got collected there. And fortunately Jazz now finds himself at the back of the grid. Let's go and pick up the lead. Arella, you can see, has got ahead of De Kaiser. And he leads them through. A bit of an error at the back. Was that Smedegard? I think it was. Went wide there as they really struggle for grip. Arella leads them from De Kaiser. David Dorr, you can see, like I said, putting in some really good performances here over the last few weeks. Really coming to the fore. Just the onboard from David. You can see Arella there just going through the tight right-hander at Nelson. They'll go through the bomb hole here. You can see just how the cars really want to kick out onto that left-hand side as they go through there and lose the grip from the camber. You can see how much they're struggling with that damp track. Don't touch the curbs, there will be death as Amado and David Dorr both see it at the same time. My word, you don't often see that from the two guys. Let's go and have a look at that one again. You can see both of them getting on the curb, and like synchronisation, both of them end up chasing their tails. Is that Fillingham? I think it was Fillingham. They're desperately trying to avoid them as they came out, but that's his Dorr down there in 9th. And De Kaiser down there in 12th after that. So we said it would be difficult, but even the guys at the front struggling. But one guy who isn't struggling, Ralph Arella, he's out in front. And look at Team 77, second place now, Simon Fillingham. Those two guys having a whale of a time at the moment in the second lap. Team 77 looking for a haul of points. I mean, look at Arella, he's already some 4 seconds now ahead of Cy Fillingham. There's Fillingham with Pavlicek there from Paradigm Shift. Remember, those guys leading the championship, but only by 50 points or so from Arella and Fillingham in Team 77. So Arella leads. 4 seconds ahead or so of Fillingham. By Pavlicek, Smedegard, Camaletto, Tutu Saw. Sive down in 7th. From Leach, Andre Mole up in 9th. I said Andre would enjoy these conditions, and currently, as I say, making his way through the field up to 9th. Dorr after his accident there 10th. De Kaiser now up to 11th. Deliver, Orde, Binnersley, Forsberg recovering after his first lap incident. Pelicano and Aaron Cleaver as well in the Pit Stop UK down there at the back after a few incidents. So Cy Fillingham just starting to pull away now from Radek Pavlicek. And you can see there's the gap. A bit of a train forming behind Pavlicek. They are Pavlicek, Smedegard, and Camaletto up to 5th. Remember, he started 12th. So Jack Camaletto already up to 5th, realising the danger of the two 77 cars getting away. And try and give his teammate a bit of a chance of getting back in. You see Smedegard there on the curbs. Back end just stepping out. We really want to keep it on the black stuff here today. So you can see Arella just going through there. Then goes Fillingham, and then this battle of Pavlicek, Smedegard, Camaletto. And there's a bit of a gap then, about a second and a half back to Tutu Saw in 6th. Mole now up to 8th, Dorr 9th, De Kaiser 10th. As those guys try and make their way through the field. Watch out for Dorr and De Kaiser in the latter part of the race. Camaletto, oh, look at Smedegard drifting it through there. Camaletto senses a chance now. Oh, and then finds his teammate right in front of him. The pass was on, but unfortunately Pavlicek was having as many issues as Smedegard was as going through, what was it, Williams I think it was. And Camaletto got great drive out there, only to see his teammate in front of him. But as it is, he's now got ahead of Smedegard, and Smedegard really struggles to get that car anywhere. Tutu Saw past him as well. So currently, Arella leads from Fillingham. Smedegard is not in 3rd. Smedegaard's back down there in 7th, behind Pavlicek and Camaletto, Tutusor, Sive, and then Magnus, as he really struggles with that car in these conditions. Unfortunately, we can't see what tyres he's got on, but my guess is whatever tyres he's got on, they're struggling, whether it's for pressures, as Camaletto goes through on his teammate there, ahead of Pavlicek, and he's now going to try and take the fight to Fillingham and Arella and try and drag his teammate along with him. You can see the track just starting to get a little bit darker in places off the racing line as the rain starts to just bring the track into a... Looks pretty dry there, but you can see from the helicam shot it's starting to get a little bit wet. You can tell just how Jack is feathering the throttle there, and you can hear the tyres struggling for grip. The great thing is, if they aren't screeching, at least they're in contact with the tarmac, and there's not that much water there. But Arella's out and away, and you can see the gap between Camaletto and Fillingham as well. 6 seconds or so, but as we saw with De Kaiser and Dorr, doesn't take much for that to swap round instantly. As I struggle through Coram there, that big long right left hand, don't get on the curb there. Jack more to the wise of that one. So Camaletto goes through, leads. He wishes he leads. He's 3rd. Best lap last one round, 1:55.1. So Jack not struggling too much with the conditions here. Best lap so far, Arella 1:54.9. So Jack pretty much on the pace of Arella, but not catching him at all. Just going to have a look at Cy Fillingham. You can see his best at 1:55.1 as well. So they're all pretty much lapping about the same pace. It's just that the incidents at the start of the race have really spread these guys out to the point where there's about 12 seconds over the top 3, and then it becomes a little bit more competitive further down. Good shot there just to see how the track is getting wet, and also just see how tight it is as well. So Fillingham in 2nd, just using those curbs on the exit of Williams there. Down the Bentley straight he goes, through a curve named after Martin Brundle, through Nelson there, that's that sharp right. This is the bomb hole. Through there they go. And round this really tricky right-hander. Just watch Cy here. Watch the steering wheel movements. How gentle he's been on that throttle. Making sure the car's straight before he applies any kind of throttle. That's going to be a 155 flat. Best lap so far for Cy Fillingham. So they've all kind of got the pace. Fillingham out front. Fillingham in 2nd. And really you can see last lap 56.1. So a mistake from Ralph on last lap, losing a second or so there. Behind them, Camaletto. Just again, as the track gets a little bit more damp. Really having to... Whoa, Jack Wolf. Got greedy with the throttle then on the exit. Managed to keep it pointing in the right direction eventually. But he was on the gas very, very early there. A bit more circumspect through there. You can see the rain getting a little bit heavier. So there's the gap, so you can see Arella 9.7 seconds ahead of Camaletto. Fillingham 5 seconds ahead. And Camaletto's already pulled out 3.5 seconds on teammate Pavlicek, who led him through earlier in the race. Civet there still in 5th. Smedegard 6th. Where has Tutusor disappeared to? Let's have a look, see if we can find Per Tutusor. He's dropped down there to 13th, so he's had an incident as well. But he's running along there in 5th position. But he's had an incident to push him back down there. So currently, this man, Ralph Arella, leads. Fillingham looks to be closing the gap slightly on him, I have to say. Really enjoying these conditions, Si Fillingham today. Look at that. He is closing him down. So Arella leads from Fillingham from Camaletto. Bernard Civet up to 4th. Smedegard up to 5th. De Kaiser after that was first lap, but right at the end of the first lap when both him and David Dorr spun off on the last corner, they're back up to 6th and 7th respectively. Binnersley now up to 8th after starting well down on the grid. Auday as well making good progress. We've had an incident for Pavlicek, it looks like. He's slipped down now to 10th. What's happened to Radek? So yeah, Radek slipped down the field there. Behind that big battle there between, looks like, Civet, Smedegard. Let's see if we can get him in one shot. There we go. So Civet, Smedegard, and then De Kaiser and Dorr recovering. Love David Dorr's livery there with that Belgian flag on the roof and that olive coloured car. If you'd have told that to me audio, I wouldn't have got it, but seeing it physically in real life, it looks absolutely gorgeous. So these four, covered by a second, they go through the bomb hole. Civet, Smedegard, De Kaiser and Dorr. Hey Martine, good to see you in chat. Thanks for sticking that up, man. If you are in chat or you're looking at the race following this. Oh! Civet just gets it wrong there again on that final corner exit. Almost took Smedegard out and Dorr barges his way through as Civet tried to protect the space. But that shuffled him down from 4th back down to 7th now, Bernard Civet. All that hard work as that final corner again takes another victim. So now it's Smedegard, De Kaiser, Dorr. Another great livery there from Magnus. Oh, De Kaiser run wide there on the grass. That's going to allow Dorr through. It is. But David Dorr moves up past De Kaiser for 5th. So Almeida really struggles with this car in these conditions. Really is sorting the men out from the boys here today. Arella still leads from Fillingham. Jack still there in 3rd. There's your gaps. You can see the gap between Dorr and Smedegard and De Kaiser. That's visual. Camaletto 10 seconds further up the road. Si Fillingham 8 seconds or so ahead of him. Tutusor and Pelicano in the pits as Camaletto goes through, presumably having damage repairs. Arella 12 seconds ahead of Camaletto, so that's the lead. I thought Fillingham was catching Arella. It's still about 4 seconds. But that was near a 6 if I remember rightly, so Simon's starting to make few inroads into his teammate. He's ready to take advantage of any kind of mistake from Arella. He doesn't often make mistakes, but I could say the same about David Dorr, really, or indeed Amado de Kaiser. As there's a look at that. Someone's obviously clattered the advertising hoardings there. We'll see as Smedergaard goes through as well. You can see the advertising hoarding in the middle of the track there. That's amazing. Fortunately, it's off the racing line, so no one really going to hit it unless they're going for an overtake down into the final corner. Into that corner. So Dorr's made his mistake and allowed De Kaiser to get past him again. Here's Magnus Smedergaard. Currently set there in 4th. 8 seconds behind Camaletto. De Kaiser has got the lapped car of Pair 2 behind him after damage repair in the pits. So De Kaiser about 4 seconds ahead of David Dorr in 6th. And then comes All Day there in 7th. But this weather really, really stretching these cars out. There's Camaletto in 3rd. Goes through, you can see 158.5 this time, so cars really getting a little bit slower. It's Fillingham. Last time around a 56.6 for size, so still managed to keep up some pace there, Fillingham. Rella in the lead, his last lap round 156.4, so times are slowing down a little bit as the conditions just become a little bit more challenging. But that's your leader, Ralph Ravella, has been inch perfect since the start line. Got past De Kaiser early doors, and then as the rain started to get heavier, he's just, I was going to say pulled out a lead. He has pulled out a lead on Camaletto, but Fillingham really keeping him honest here. As you can see, that black lines he leaves behind him there as he goes through the tight, twisty part of the track. The end of the lap, he tries to hang on to the car through this long right-hander through the final corner. Careful not to get it on those curbs. We've seen a couple of people already wipe the dust from there, but it looks like both him and Fillingham have learnt that lesson. Both of them staying off that curb. There's Camaletto in 3rd. Again, looks like he's seen so many people go off there. So just shows you how clever these guys are. They know what to look for. Smedergaard as well, making sure he doesn't touch that curb. That's what sorts the men out from the boys, the guys that know where to put their car. You can see Dorr behind as well, avoiding that curb now. So they've all learned to stay off that, unless you want to visit the hospital. You can see the cars are really struggling to get the car stopped, turned, and then back pointing the other way as they go through that tight hairpin. Turning to, might have been attending to like make it into more of a V shape, that corner, rather than a U, but I don't think he would have wanted to go quite as deep as he did into there. Normal conditions we'd see probably a yellow flag for that advertising board on the track, but it's big enough to see and big enough to avoid. Oh, and 2-2. Oh, the Kaiser there just. Oh, and Neen gets it wrong there, so white flags flashing somewhere. Presumably that was for De Kaiser. The marshal's been a little bit premature there. But the cars are really struggling on this lap. Remember, as the track gets wet, it gets cold. Unfortunately, the tyres need a little bit of heat to grip the track. So as it gets wet, it gets not just less grip and less traction. The tyres get colder and they don't react with the track either. So it just multiplies itself up. The problems just keep getting worse in these conditions, especially the guys that started on slick tyres, which I think they all did because the track really was bone dry when the lights went green. And just as they pulled away, you saw it from the helicam shot, the rain started to come down and it's just been getting heavier ever since. You can see that even now the track probably not wet enough for wets. If they put wet tyres on, they'd have grip, but they would munch through their tyres so quickly as the compound in the wet tyre would just overheat. There's not enough dampness on the track to keep the tyre cool, so the driver's really stuck between a rock and a hard place with no grip on the slick tyre and potentially too much grip on the wet tyre, which would last probably 3 laps if they were lucky. So you can see David Dorr there in the background, looks like he's had another incident. Dorr just struggling with the conditions. Yeah, he's slipped all the way back down to 10th now, unfortunately for David, so he's having an interesting race. And there are 2 races tonight, don't forget, but the second race is not a reverse grid. They will have to qualify again for race 2, so they've got to do all that again as Rick Binnersley goes wide there and allows Dorr past back up to 9th. So Dorr starts another recovery drive. Up front, still Ralph Arella. That time's getting slower at 57, and Finningham now, he's starting to struggle a little bit. You can see last lap for Sire 2:01. Really struggling in these conditions, making a few errors now. Goes over this time a 57.9. So a little bit better for Sire this time round, but obviously an error on the previous lap. Setting back a bit now on Arella. Camaletto just going through there. 1:59 for Jack. So Arella really got this race in a scruff of his, by the scruff of its neck. Pelicano looks like he's parked in the pits and had enough. So unfortunately that's not going to help his AM challenge very much. Good to see Antonio D'Oliva there in 7th position. And as we go to him, seems like they're all diving into that hairpin too hot. Just can't get it stopped. Antonio up to 7th, which is a great performance for him. Car looking a little bit worse for wear. I've seen a bit of action. De Kaiser past Pavlicek now up to 5th. Must have some grip in that car. They went around that corner. That car did seem to stick. A lot of the others have been drifting, so I just wonder if Antonio's taken a gamble with his tyre pressures, and that's what's caused all that damage at the start. But he's now starting to reap the rewards as the car picks up. There's a Pitstop UK guy there in the wall. I'm not sure who that was. Was that Ryan Leach? It was. Leach recovers back off the grass. So Leach struggling in 13th. Teammate Aaron Cleaver down there in 14th. Those two guys having a bit of a hard time of it today. Lovely livery though, as Ryan again struggles to get around that final corner. Good way of missing the curb though, that's for sure. And off Ryan goes. This is Magnus Smedegard. Easy for you to say. Magnus Smedegard in fourth. He's got quite a gap back to De Kaiser. Obviously, Almeida's made a couple of mistakes as we've seen. Oh, Magnus almost getting that car to swap ends. Kept it straight though. Played with the throttle beautifully to bring it back into line. And on he goes. Let's give you a quick rundown as you watch Smedegard. Avera still leads from Fillingham. The gap between those guys now about 6 or 7 seconds. Excuse me. Camletto in third. Smedegard you're watching here in fourth. He's got De Kaiser bearing down on him, but only 3 minutes to go. He should be safe for the race now if he can keep this here pointing in the direction it's going. De Kaiser fifth. Pavlicek in sixth. We saw Antonio D'Oliva earlier, having a good race there in seventh. All Day, who I believe is new to RR League, so good to see you in the server, my friend. Good performance from him up to 8th. Rick Benizzi there in 9th. David Dorr after his escapades down there in 10th. Bernat Sive 11th. Forsberg recovering back up to 12th after that first lap incident he had. Leach in 13th. Cleaver 14th. Andre Mol 15th, and then Tutusor and Pelicano. I think Pear's parked his car up in the pits as well. So Mol currently the last runner out there. Just going to have a look at new boy Jordi Audet. Jordi was in the first race with, I believe, wasn't he? He was. Apologies to Jordi. So not new to our leagues at all. As Benazzi looks to make a quick move on him here. Up the inside. Can he get it stopped? He can. That's a nice move from Benazzi there. Audet trying to keep the car pointing in one direction. Benazzi a little bit more confidence in his car. And he managed to slide it right up the inside there. Get it stopped. Turned as well. Good to see that advertising board now on the infield there. Guessing the stewards did a good job of moving out on the inside. You can see the rain beads just coming off the windscreen now. Oh, and well saved, my friend. Jordi Audet there trying to.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
Well, they said they wanted to see a bit of rain for one race, but I'm guessing this wasn't it, because this has been a real struggle for most of them. But he sorted the men out from the boys, none more so. And this man, Ralph Ravella, not put a wheel wrong since the flag dropped. Got past De Kaiser within 2 corners and then led from then to now. Got a huge lead on Cy Fillingham, his teammate. Team 77 looks like they're coming home for a 1-2. That's really going to help them in the team championship. So when I comes round this double apex right-hander here. Take this right-hander at Williams, and he's onto the Bentley straight. Just down there in that last tricky section to go through. Well, it's pretty much the same as it was 5 minutes ago. The guys getting to grips with the conditions now, and to be fair, it is really spread out. So Barilla comes through, takes this long right-hander that they've all struggled with all race, but not Ralph. This is going to be win number, was it 5? I think it is. What a performance. Ralph Varela comes home in these tricky conditions to win race 1 here at Snetterton. Great performance from Ralph Varela.
The leader has finished the race.
Cy Fillingham just coming through the final corner now. Team 77 are going to get a 1-2. Great drive from Cy Fillingham. Really relishing these changing conditions. He comes through in second. Well played, Cy. Behind him, here's Jack Caminetto just coming through the final corner as well. Nice drive from Jack from way back on the grid at the start in 12th. He's going to come home for that third spot on the podium. And just behind him you can see Magnus Smedegaard, who's making some time up on Jack there at the end. He's going to come home for 4th. Nice race from Smedegaard there. De Kaiser is going to chase Pavlicek over the line, but Pavlicek beats him over the line. Nice there from Radek at the end. I wonder if we can see the last 30 seconds of that little argument. See how that unfolded. So Radek follows De Kaiser through the long right hander. De Kaiser just gets it all wrong, gets it on the marbles. Still keeps the car there though to the inside. Tries to push Radek out, gives him enough room, and Radek just gets the grip. And then it's a drag race to the line. As we saw, Pavlicek just gets to the line ahead of Almeida De Kaiser. So nice driving from those two. Almeida De Kaiser will be kicking himself. Great drive from Antonio D'Oliva in 7th. Well done, Antonio. That's really pushed him up the AM charts with that performance. Rick Binnersley there in 8th. David Dorr, he's had an interesting time of it for the last half an hour. He finishes 9th. Jordi O'Day there in 10th. Bernat Sive in 11th. Jas Forsberg 12th. Ryan Leach, Aaron Cleaver, the Pit Stop UK teammates there in 13th and 14th. Andre Molt brings up the last of the runners in 15th, and then Per Tutusor and Pelicano, both DNFs there in 16th and 17th. Wow. I'm glad I'm sat in the commentary box here today than I am driving those death traps. Looks like they're all queuing up for their shopping. Pit lane at Snetterton back in the day, that wall wasn't there, and they would basically have like Le Mans like starts where the cars would pit on the grid basically on the actual racing surface. And I used to see in Le Mans at the back in the day the teams actually work on the cars as the cars race past on the circuit. So this modern pit lane constructed to protect everybody and bring it into the standards of the modern day. But yeah, back in the day, track was probably where that hatching, the red hatching is. Guys would work on the cars on the track, so bygone era. So there's a little gap now, and then they'll do all that again, qualifying 10 minutes and another 30-minute race. But this will happen game time the following day, so we'll see if the weather changes between today and tomorrow. Thanks for the likes on the video, guys, much appreciated. Not just me, but I'm sure the guys driving also appreciate the attention. Look at that. Very pretty line of cars. Fair play to the designers of all those liveries. They do look stunning. I'm going to look at, we've seen obviously Ralph Varela's there with the kangaroo on the side. Team 77, he's got the yellow flashes. Fillingham up front there, you can just see him with the pink flashes. We've seen Camiletto's car there, the NKPP car. Again, is the blue car. Pavlicek, you can just see him there halfway up in front of the lime green car with Tutusor with the orange flash and the green front. So nice livery amendments there. We've seen Smedegaard in that lovely black and white mono Union Jack car. See Ryan Leach there in the BWT Pit Stop UK's car, that nice pink and grey car, beautiful livery on his. Who else have we not looked at? Binnersley's in that lovely Jägermeister car, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Just shows you liveries don't have to be complicated to be nice. It's fairly simple, but very eye-catching. And David Dorr, unfortunately we can't see his car because the camera's not set up to see it. But I was hoping we get another view, but we can't. Never mind. Oh, look at that. It is pouring down now. Wow. Okay, this is going to be fun. At least they all know they can put their wets on. But after that, you just got to pray. So qualifying about to begin. Here they all go out. De Kaiser out, and you can see already just coming out of pit lane there. I think that was Tutu saw. Yeah, it was. He's already automatically gone back to the pit. Couldn't get it on the track without sliding off on this surface, so it should be interesting to watch, to say the least. Fillingham just coming out the pits there. David Dorr just behind him. And just look at the surface there. Wow. Like I say, in some ways it will help them because they'll know they've got to have their wet tyres and they can pump them up, get some pressure in them to give them some grip. So that will definitely help them. Tyres won't overheat in these conditions either. So in some respects, this might be, I'm not saying easier than the last race, but perhaps less stressful because there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is, and you can only choose the tyre that you can. Whereas the last race, you might have been caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place. Well, unfortunately now, it's just a hard place. But they can turn their traction control up. No, they can't because they haven't got traction control, don't forget. Not that they have anti-lock brakes. These cars are pretty bare bones. And there you go, Cy Fillingham just caught that barrier there as he went round. And that spun him around. So I thought he was being a bit greedy with the curb there, and you don't want to keep it on the curb when it's wet like this. So that's a sign of possibly with a bit of damage. Won't help his car at all. And there we, and look at that, you can see how many cars have been off there already on that curb. I think that's as they go onto the Bentley straight, I think. Deleva also a victim there. In fact, that's at turn 2, isn't it? That's the hairpin at Montreal. So yeah, that's him off there. There's Jack Camaletto. You can see Jack really leaving the rear end hanging out, and he just manages to bring it back in line. Takes it through the final corner. And he'll start his quick lap. Let's watch the hand movements here from Camaletto. There's a scary tree, you can just see him there. Desperately trying to keep the car straight. Front wheels wanting to go anyway but forward. Jack again early on the gas there, manages to get the grip. And that's where Fillingham went off earlier. So it goes down the straight. So already put 159.1 in. Cive and Mole there, 201s and 202s. So Jack can just get around this final. Oh, you can just see he just won't go round. He's trying to tease the wheels around. He just touches that marker there, and he's going to cross the line. This is going to be a quick lap from Camaletto. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58.2. Beats the Kaiser. So 58.2 from Camaletto, as that looks like it was Simon Fillingham getting it a bit wrong, or was it? I think it was Ralph Rivella. No, it was Cy Fillingham. Rivella in the yellow flash car, Fillingham in the pink one. Yeah, so it was Cy Fillingham. So yeah, Camaletto through a 158.2 there. De Kaiser 159.1. Rivella at 59.5. Davidor 59.8. Nice lap for Forsberg there. 2 minute dead. As with Fillingham, Smedegaard as well. All those three covered by 3 or 4 tenths. Excuse me. And then Cive, Mole and Jourdain there with the lap so far completed. So there they are on track. Pretty much well spread out between them all. You can see there, car 67. Mole and Cive just behind him, 27. Those two are pretty close, but apart from that, all well spread out. This is Fillingham, David Daw just behind him. There's 3 minutes of qualifying left to go, so it's sort of flown by for them as they try and get to grips with the, no pun intended, trying to get to grips with the track. Fillingham gets out the way of Daw there. Let's go back with Daw. Oh, well caught, sir. Currently on 59.8. And this isn't going to threaten anybody. You can see the clock there in the car already gone past 2 minutes. So we're going to have one more attempt. Might get 2. Depends on this lap. I've run out to P2. 59.1 last time round for Ralph Rivella. So he's taken the fight to Camaletto this time. Smedegaard in 4th, David Daw in 5th. Cleaver, nice stat for him. He's up to 6th now. Havlicek and Benazzi still to put a lap in, as is Tutu saw. Track limits still a thing, even though it's going to cost you more time. And they're looking at 158. That's where he needs to be as he comes down the Bentley straight. And that looks a real handful. Takes it wide onto the part of the track off the racing line where there may be more grip. An old karting trick. Down to the final corner, turns it in, gets it straight. Okay, what can you do on the drag to the line? Can he get over in 58, 55, 56, 57, 58.2, 58.281, and that's going to put him a 10th. Oh, less than a 10th behind Camaletto. Wow. That's close. So Camaletto, Arella, De Kaiser, Smedegard in 4th. Binnesley get his lap in under the 2 minutes, a 59.5 for Binnesley. Well done for him. Sid Cleaver put a nice lap in there. Fellingham struggling in these conditions a little bit down there in 8th, although still, what? I was going to say just about a second or so, but Camaletto's just putting a quicker time now, 57.6. You know, Fellingham 8th, Ryan Leach 9th, Mole in 10th there, Forsberg 11th, Cive 12th. Shorty Order in 13th. Tutusor has put a lap in now, he's in 14th. Deliva and Pavlicek still to complete a lap. You can see Deliva's only completed 2 laps, Pavlicek just the 1. That's why those 2 guys are struggling out there at the back. So qualifying over. I don't think there's any guys still out there on a lap. Although, to be fair, I think Arella is. I think Camaletto may have put his time in just as they crossed the line. But definitely, Arella is on a time here. 1:57 to beat. I think there's 57.6 in Camaletto. As Arella really does look for that grip out there to bring the car straight. He's going to cross the line. .56, no, he's not done it. I thought 58.2 again. That's very consistent driving from Ralph Arella. Unfortunately, it's going to leave him in 3rd position as David Dort sticks a lap in there right at the very end. Unfortunately, guys, the engine, the car's not the only one crashing. The Unreal Engine has crashed, so I've got this view. So I'm just going to stick you. In fact, we'll leave it going for you on there. I can't have to quit the game out, on I to restart the game. So bear with me for 1 second. We'll just get this sorted for you before, hopefully before the race starts. And we'll be back in a second. So we're back, that's good. Apologies about that, just...
Alright, conditions are wet. We have some slippery curves and also watch out for your braking distance.
Thank you for that. Yep, we just got us a few Unreal Engine issues, but that's all sorted now. We're back and live. And there's the grid as they line up. David Dort putting that lap in at the end, but also Magnus Smedegard sticking one in there right at the death. So your front row, Camaletto and Smedegard. Wait, drive from Magnus there. Oh. Change camera chases, but it isn't doing it at the moment. That's good. Hopefully it's just because we are... No, it's not. Is it letting me change views? No, it's not letting me change views either. We've got 1 minute 48. Give me a second, guys. Let's see if we can get this sorted once and for all. Talk amongst yourselves. Do love technology.
Alright, there is some rain in this session, so watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake earlier.
There we go. We're back in. Whew. So, where were we? Yes. Camaletto and Smedegard at the front there, row 1. Dor and Norella there in row 2. Ralph in second place for pretty much all of that session. Until the end there when David Dor and Smedegard stuck one in at the depth. Benazzi, nice performance from him. He seems to have one good race and one bad race, doesn't he? But Benazzi, nice performance there in 5th position. Pavlicek gets that lapping at the end there in 6th. De Keyser in 7th. Nice lap from Andre Multiput in 8th. Aaron Cleaver and Fillingham 9th and 10th. So Si's got his work cut out from back there. Ryan Leach, Jazz Forsberg in row 6. Cive and Audet there back there in row 7th. And Tutusor and Deliver in row 8. We've lost one person from the first race, and we should know who it is, but unfortunately from that I can't see who. I know you're all screaming at me going, "It's..." but I can't see. Tutusor's there, Cive's there, Mole, Beardsley, Believer. Oh well, it'll come to me. So around they go on the formation lap. Camaletto not hanging about, even in these conditions. I know they've got a speed limit to stick to, but Camaletto making sure he sticks to it. So he's trying to get a bit of heat into the tyres, even in these conditions. Whether he can get into them, I'm afraid, to really push that car round. I'm not sure I'll be weaving quite that much with my ability. I've got more chance of going off the warming the tyres up. You can just see there in the background Cleaver struggling to get the car stopped. Fortunately the car's ghosting this part of the formation, otherwise he'd have taken De Keyser to the cleaners. But until they cross the line they can't hit each other, fortunately. But if they do decide they want to jump a place or two, they will get a drive through, so any advantage they think they would gain would be taken away from them very swiftly. For all of you thinking, well, just go now, it doesn't quite work like that. So Camaletto leads them through the last couple of corners. Lightning there coming through now, so proper old thunderstorm has arrived at Snetterton. Norfolk is known as the Garden of England. The amount of agriculture that goes on in the land. Reclaimed piece of land way back when. Which is why it's so flat. Great place. So many air bases there because it is so flat. But it does tend to pick up the weather from the North Sea. So here we go. Round the final corner. Which we go on board with Arella. There's David Dor as well. He's right behind Camaletto. So watch out for the lights on the right hand side as they go through. They'll go just under the start finish line. You'll see there's the red lights there. The driver will see them go green before we do. There they go. So away they go. And towards turn 1, Camaletto, a good start. All the guys easy on the brakes as they go into 1. Apart from Camaletto, he's away. Nice drive from the rest of them. So go into the hairpin. Let's see what happens here. They go through. Oh, through there safely. A little bump there between, looks like it was Forsberg and Sive as they came out of the exit there. But good start for everybody there. No one appears to be off the track. You can see up front, Camaletto, huge lead already. Really revving these conditions. Through he goes. There's Smedegard in second. Smedegard, Door. Varela, Binnersley, Pavlicek and De Kaiser. So they go down the Bentley straight under the little bridge. Left through here. Through the bomb hole they go. Careful not to drift out too wide. All successfully completed that. This is Pavlicek. They're in 6th position. He's got Binnersley in front of him, and then you can see Arella there in the... oh, Binnersley just gets it wrong there. He's going to cost himself some time now. Or is he? To go down towards turn 1. Pavlicek. Can he take advantage of Binnersley's error there at the last corner? I don't think he can. Binnersley wide again at turn 1, and that's just allowed Pavlicek through. Binnersley, oh, big bump on the cars. He came back on the track there. So Binnersley struggling, and there's David Dorr. He's spun round there as well. Oh, and he's left the car right in front of Ryan Leach. So poor old David Dorr not having the best time of it. Let's just watch what happened to him. So you can see Binnersley goes off there. Where is David Dorr? There. Oh, I just spun on the exit there. Held the brakes like you're supposed to do. Tried to get it going again, but literally ended up right in front. As he desperately tried to get going. Not the greatest piece of drive from David there, unfortunately, but in the circumstances with the adrenaline, you can kind of understand it. Anyway, still out front, Camaletto and Smedegard. Kind of got the pace of this now. Smedegard putting Jack under some pressure. He just starts to pull him back in. Arella there in 3rd. Have a check up to 4th now after David Dorr's mistake. De Kaiser there in 5th. Binnersley after his escapades in 6th. Andre up to 7th. Fillingham up to 8th. Leach, Forsberg. Deleva making his way through the field to 11th now. Cleaver 12th. Tutu saw 13th. Sive, and then you saw Doran all day at the back there, having their little battle as Dor got back on track. So let's kind of have a look further back down the field at De Kaiser. He's chasing down Pavlicek there in 4th. See how much more grip the cars have got. Well, turning ability. Able to rotate a lot better on those wet tyres in these conditions than the damp track and the dry tyres in race 1. So they are getting a lot more purchase, but obviously the rear tyres, contact patch a lot smaller with the wet tyres and the grooves. As Pavlicek takes a different line now. I think that was a mistake from Radek, but he's managed to keep 4th place from De Kaiser. Two of them are going to go through this right-hander and onto the straight. Radek going sideways onto the straight, and Mado taking the grass. Neither ideal, but they live to fight another day. Hey Andre Bergsma, good to see you in chat, man. Bet you're glad sat where you are, not sat in those cars. Oh, Pavlicek gets it wrong there. Couldn't get it stopped and squirreled off the track. That's dropped him a place now behind De Kaiser. So De Kaiser up to 4th, Pavlicek down to 5th. Binnersley now behind him, looking for a way through. De Kaiser slides it through the long right-hander. Trying to sell off that curb at the end. We saw what happened in race 1. That took a few victims. Caminetto leads from Smedegard, Arella, De Kaiser there up to 4th. He's got Pavlicek behind him from Binnersley. Fillingham now up to 7th. Aaron Cleaver to 8th. Tutusor to 9th. Won't put it on the grass there either, Almeida. That's not going to do your tyres any good at all. Unfortunately, Antonio D'Oliva's had a bit of an incident. Finds himself now bringing up the rear in 16th. He was travelling fairly well. But D'Oliva down there now at the back of the field. Tutusor in 9th. Sive in 10th. Ryan Leach 11th. David Dorr making his way back through the field in 12th. Jazz Forsberg, Andre Mol, Antonio D'Oliva now passed all day there at the back. So that's your 16 runners. Yeah, Andre Bergsma there in the chat, one of our fastest drivers we've got in RR Leagues, but pretty happy to be sat in an armchair watching this than sat in his rig driving these things. Let's go and look at the battle between Camiletto and Smedegard. It's about the same, 2 seconds or so between the two of them. Oh, Jack's got it wrong. Oh, he just managed to save it. But that's got Smedegard interested now. Just see it on board from Camiletto. As he went through here. And then through here on the gas. Oh no, maybe not. Thought we'd get the replay of it, but we didn't. Apologies about the graphics quality. It looks absolute garbage, doesn't it? But never mind. I think my graphics card needs a driver update. I've been holding off on it for ages, but I think now the time has come. So Camiletto from Smedegard. Camiletto just trying to eke out a bit more advantage of again now after that error. Very difficult to caught an error in these conditions, isn't it? But an error it was. Camiletto, Smedegard, Arella De Kaiser, Pavlicek, Fillingham, Cleaver, Binnersley now down in 8th. He's lost a couple of places there. Sive 9th, Ryan Leach 10th. Dorr, Tutusor, Forsberg, Mol, D'Oliva and All Day. That's your field. If you've ever been listening to sim racing content and you're worried about belt drive wheels and direct drive wheels and stuff, you'll see the amount of times that Jack Camiletto has almost lost the car but managed to pull it back from the brink of oblivion. This is where equipment really does make a difference. The force feedback that Jack will be feeding through his wheel would just enable him to have a slight advantage in being able to catch any kind of braking of the car as it tries to slip away out of grip. And that's where you pay the extra money for that that extra ability to catch that slip, because the feedback through the wheel is just so much more intense that you can feel that brake before you'd feel it maybe on a belt drive wheel. Only milliseconds, but that's the difference between you catch the slide and losing the car completely. So when they say gear doesn't matter, it doesn't in the main. Some of the really quick drivers still use some of the older equipment, but in conditions like these, driving cars like these, that's where the difference comes in. As we just see there in the background, a Rella going sideways. See if we can catch that on the onboard. So he goes round, 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 and hello, Mr. Stewart, how are you? And that's where even the good drivers can get it wrong. No matter what equipment you've got, you can only save you so many times. So Camaletto, Smedegard, Rella now drops down the field, so De Kaiser takes up third position from Pavlicek, Fillingham now up to fifth, and Rella now down to seventh. So Team 77 racking up some decent points in race one. Paradigm shift this race, trying to knock it straight back over the net with that backhand return to him, as Camaletto leads Pavlicek in fourth, Fillingham in fifth, and Arella in seventh. So good haul of points coming Paradigm Shift's way this way if they can keep it together. Although, as we've seen already, it only takes one corner or one curb, and it's all going to hell in the handcart, as Magnus there almost proves my point. So Camaletto leads across the line from Smedegard. There's the two. You can see the Kaiser in the background in third. So that's your front three. You can see Camaletto leads Smedegard by 2 seconds. 7 seconds back to De Kaiser, and then 11 seconds back to Pavlicek, with a healthy gap back there in fifth place to Aaron Cleaver, who's made his way up to fifth. Fair play, Aaron Cleaver. Finally a bit of luck for one of the Pit Stop UK guys. Rain absolutely lashing down now. This is about as wet as it's going to get. Oh, Camaletto really taking a risk on the outside there of that corner. Keeps it together though. Somehow. Trust me, that was nothing to do with direct drive wheels, that was pure luck. Down the Bentley straight he goes, Camaletto. 2 seconds over Smedegard. This is Magnus. And that's Jack, you can see in front. Oh, Magnus taking a few liberties with that sausage curb there. Oh, wow. Nice line through that final corner from Smedegard there. And you can see behind, looks like De Kaiser's had a bit of an incident. He has. So he's dropped down to fourth. Pavlicek jumps ahead of him. So Paradigm Shift now first and third. Although De Kaiser desperately trying to get back on terms. Remember, these two guys cross the line with a tenth of a second between them at the end of race one. De Kaiser finds himself in the same position again now, but he has got 15 minutes to try and pull it back this time. Different lines there from Pavlicek, and De Kaiser just catches that as it tries to step out. You can see the gap there between Pavlicek and Smedegaard. Well, you can't see the gap. Smedegaard's gone already. But Pavlicek and De Keyser third and fourth. You just saw Cleaver and Arella there in the background, so the whole length of the straight between them. Meanwhile, it's just as these two go around this final, well, penultimate corner, Smedegaard just coming around that final corner as Camaletto ahead just comes across the line. So there's your gap between first and second, and you can see the two third and fourth place cars there in the background. So Camaletto leads from Smedegaard, the gap 3.4 as they cross the line. And a big gap back then to Pavlicek and De Keyser. Arella has now got ahead of Aaron Cleaver. Looks like Cleaver's had a bit of an incident because Arella is a couple of seconds ahead. And just behind Cleaver, you can see Cy Finningham there trying to make his way back through the field. David Dorr down there in 8th after that first lap excursion. I don't know what, I closed the window earlier in the commentary box because it was blowing a hoolie and now I'm absolutely baking. So the wonders of the selfie stick come into play, and I can open my window again, get a bit of air in here. Fortunately, although I'm in the commentary box actually at the track, it's not pissing down here, it's just pissing down there, so that's good news. Oh, a bit of air through, that's great. If anyone wants to bring me a beer, please feel free. Let's kind of look at the Pavlicek De Keyser battle. In fact, it's not really a battle, is it? Pavlicek's now pulled a little bit of a gap out on De Keyser. You can see Arella there in the background with Ryan Leach. With Aaron Cleaver just coming around at the back. In fact, we've lost Ryan Leach. He has left the server, so presumably accident damage for him. And we've also lost another driver as well. And with my ability to remember names, I can't see who that one is either. Jazz Forsberg still there. Tutu Saul Cive. Oh, is it Geordie? No, Geordie's there at the bottom at 14th. So, lost another one, but there we go. Ah, is it? Oh no, Rick Benizzi's there in 9th. I thought it might be Rick, but it's not. He's there. Is it Anthony Pellicano? Anthony Pellicano might be missing at the very start. We said we lost one driver, didn't we? Is it Andre Moll? Andre Moll as well. So there's your three drivers that we're missing. Moll, Pellicano, and who else did I say? Ryan Leach. So just a field of 14 still going. Camaletto and Smedegaard. What's the gap between those two? Again, that looks pretty stretched out as well. You can see gap from Camaletto to Smedegaard, 4 seconds. 10 seconds back then to Pavlicek. So all the cars pretty much spread out. There's no big battles going on anywhere there, really. You can see still putting 159s though, so decent times. Considering the conditions, as Smedegaard rallies it round there, seems to have some terrific grip as he went round that final, well, the penultimate corner. Round that final turn he goes, so definitely some grip in that car from Magnus Smedegaard. Camaletto though also got some pace, both on 158. Smedegaard just a couple of tenths quicker, 58.1. Camaletto 58.3. That's better from both of them. Pavlicek's now got about 3.5 seconds on De Keyser. He's starting to eke that lead out. Arella desperately trying to get back on terms with De Kaiser. Still 10 minutes to go or so. So he can pull that back. As your leader though, Jack Camaletto. There's Smedegaard in the background. Now, a different county then is Pavlicek and De Kaiser. Something tells me Jack practiced for the wet, not for the dry for this race. As he seems to be away with this car in these conditions, absolutely loving it. And try as Magnus Smedegaard might, he just can't get the pace of... I say can't get the pace, last lap was the same pace. We'll see what they go around this time. The best lap so far, guess who? No, you're wrong, it's Almeida De Kaiser, a 1:57.8. 3/10 or so quicker than Camaletto, so De Kaiser plenty of pace, but unfortunately a little bit inconsistent in these conditions. You can see Camaletto's going to better his time. He's currently 2/10 up on his best. There should be a 1:57.5. 1:57.5, yep, it is. So Camaletto takes fastest lap as he comes across the line. Smedegaard a 58.6. So Jack now just starting to really pull that champagne cork out of the bottle. This is De Kaiser. You can see Pavlicek keeping that gap of about 3 seconds or so in front of him. And here's the two Team 77 guys, Arella and Fillingham. So Fillingham actually keeping with Arella this time round, as he did in race 1 to be fair. He was pushing Ralph, although Ralph I think had his pace, but the two Team 77 cars doing exceptionally well in race 1, and they're going the same again here. Just unfortunately for them, there's 4 cars in front of them. But the sponsors will love it, as they pay good money for the photographs like this, especially during a race. Just keep the fog off the lens though, because the rain will be battering down on the old photographers. So that's Team 77 there, 5th and 6th. Bennesley's down there in 7th. And he's got David Dorr a couple of seconds behind him. There is Dorr in the background. And he's got Civet just behind him. So those three cover by about 5 seconds. Bennesley, and you'll see Dorr coming through in the background. And that lime green car you can just see there was Civet. And behind them, Jas Forsberg. He's got Per Tutusor behind him. Remember, Tutusor put in some great performances at the start of the season. He's just struggled the last couple of races, especially in these conditions, not enjoying this at all. And Jas Forsberg having a good old time of it here. So Forsberg and Tutusor, and there's a big gap back then to Antonio De Leva, who's had his issues during the race. There is Antonio down there in 12th. All Day is in 13th. And Aaron Kluver's now called it a day in 14th, unfortunately. Good start from Aaron. He went well. He was up to 5th, remember, at one point. But he's had enough, and he's in the pits and presumably out of the race. Let me jump to the pit lane, unfortunately, never mind. So there is Cleaver. Engine's still running, you can see the wipers are still going, so maybe Aaron's just getting some damage repaired. Back out front though, is Camaletto. Just eking that gap over Smedegaard now. You can see in the background Smedegard really starting to struggle as Camaletto finds more and more pace. However, Jack's pressured his tyres. He's obviously done it spot on. And he just seems to have so much more grip than all the other cars. That, along with a bit of his talent as well, really helping Camaletto in race 2 here at Snetterton. Round 5, don't forget, one more round to go of the Porsche Cup. And that will come on Imola in a couple of weeks' time. So join us in 2 weeks for that final round of that, as it all gets a little bit tight at the top between Arella, De Kaiser, Camaletto. Everything to play for in the championship as we go to the final round, say at Imola in 2 weeks' time. So Camaletto, there's a difference between him and Smedegard. Camaletto already through. It's not the car in front, it's the car already around the corner. In the distance, that's what Magnus has got to put up with. And behind them, this is De Kaiser, and then you can see in front of him Radek Pavlicek. As De Kaiser just struggles for grip into the corner there. Opposite lock to get it straight. You can see he's got about 4 seconds or so to make up on Radek, if not a little bit more. And there's the two Team 77 guys. Finningham holding station on teammate Arella, 5th and 6th. It's 3 minutes to go. Car's pretty much strung out. Providing there's no more errors, this is how it's going to finish. Insley set. Ooh, Rick. Commentator's curse was coming in. David Dorr nice and close up on Bernard Civet. Let's have a look at that little battle. David Dorr getting a windscreen full of spray. So he's very careful with his braking points. Looking on the inside. Oh, just gets it sideways on Civet as he tries to make the move at the inside. Through the bomb hole they go. He's got the inside line. And that's just allowed him through. Let's have a look at that from Helicam. You can see Dorr just making a move up through the bomb hole. Pushes Civet wide. And that's a place gained for David Dorr. So ignore that, you'll see as across the line, Dorr will jump up to 8th, Civet will go back to 9th. There we go. But as you might have heard from the pit crew, Jack Camaletto already on to his final lap. Very impressive from Jack here today. In these conditions, these cars are a real handful to drive, but he's shown that you get the car set up absolutely right, the tyres set up right, and you've got the ability, you can really wring these out, and that's exactly what he's done. Already through the bomb hole there, he's got this nice long right-hander. Through the final corner. And Jack Camaletto is going to come home for his first win, I think, of the championship so far. It is. So Jack Camaletto wins race 2 here at Snetterton. Smedegard is going to come home in 2nd. Nice race from Magnus there. Pushed Jack as much as he could, but that's about all he could do. Pavlicek is going to come home in 3rd. So a good haul of points from Paradigm Shift here. De Kaiser just come around the final corner there for 4th. Makes it through there. So Almeida De Kaiser's going to come home in 4th. Nice race from him. A few little errors here and there has cost him dearly, but he's going to come home in 4th. Still good points for Almeida. Arella just behind him there in 5th. Where's Cy Finningham? Just behind him there in 6th. So there's the two Team 77 cars. Bennesley just making his way around the final corner there for 7th. Nice race for Rick. All played, my friend. David Dorr, who we saw got past Bernard Civet, he's just in the background there. Has he lost that place to Civet? He has. We missed that. We've got 30 seconds. Can we go back and see that? Or is that too much time? Oh, there you go. There's the error right there in the penultimate corner. David Dorr will be kicking himself again. He'll be really sore with the amount of kicks he's given himself today. But David Dorr just making an error there on that penultimate corner. Just putting a wheel on the grass. And Civet gets past him again. Those two lovebirds passing like trains in the night. David Dorr kind of come home in 9th. Good performance from Jazz Forsberg. He's there in 10th. Tutu Saw in 11th. Antonio D'Oliva kept going in 12th. Fair play to you, Antonio. Decent race. I don't be too put out by 12. You had a decent race today, friend. And it's your day all day there at the back in 13th. I think we saw him finish the race. Anyway, what do we know? There's your timetable, there's your positions. Camaletto from Schmedegard and Pavlicek, that's your 1, 2, 3. Nice podium finishes there for those guys. De Kaiser 4th, Arella 5th, Billingham 6th, Binnersley, Civet, Dorr, Forsberg, Tutusaw, D'Oliva and Auday. Just a few admin things. If you haven't liked the video already, please give us a thumbs up, it will be most appreciated. Subscriptions are also much appreciated. And a little bell will let you know when we're going live next time, so you can get our next live stream. Coming up on Sunday, we've got the Crew Chief Championship round 5 there, as that championship comes to the same sort of stage as this one. 2 rounds to go there, always exciting to watch, so join us on Sunday for that. And then you've got another fortnight to go before the last of the Porsche GT3 Cup rounds. Excuse me, from Imola. So join us in a fortnight for that, as this championship comes to a conclusion. And don't forget, 2 other brand new championships starting in August. Registration already open and already half full, especially on the GT3 one. So if you do fancy racing with us in those championships, be sure to pop on over to rrlegs.com. All the information there under the racing tab when you go onto the website, but if not, you'll find it from the calendar anyway. All details fairly easy to find on the website. Just join our Discord if you get any problems, and we'll help you along with anything you need. But with that, I'm going to leave you to the rest of your evening. Great performance from Camaletto in race 2. Great performance from Ralph Ravella in race 1. The championship is going to go down to the final round at Imola, so be sure to join us in 2 weeks' time with RR Leagues for this GT3 Cup Championship. So we'll see you in a fortnight's time if we don't see you on Sunday for the Crew Chief Championship. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you on Sunday hopefully for the BMWs and Mercs. Take care guys, and we'll see you soon. Tra.